Okay, so we are recording. Hey, Moran.
Hello.
How are you doing?
Good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Surviving this strange and, challenging period?
I think, yeah, for people living in Berlin is not so challenging. So for me personally, it's not so challenging, but for other places, it's very challenging. So yeah, it's a hard time when you think about it in a global way. But for myself, it's okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What have you been up to in the last few months?
I'm working on a lot of projects actually in the same time. Project with other people. So now I'm working with a photographer, Tobias Chiloni. I
Okay.
think I'm pronouncing his family name right.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm working with Arkady Isaac. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, and also I'm working on my stuff. I'm drawing, and I'm starting to work on the new performance. And I just finished the exhibition in Chemnitz, a solo exhibition, which I had there also a different performance.
You just had a performance in Chemnitz.
Yeah, now my studio is full of all the sculptures because it was drawings, photography, but also sculptures. And I'm really searching for a new studio, like 3 times bigger, because I love, soon I will take you around the studio.
Mm-hmm.
I really love when I create that all the sculptures are surrounding me, because it's like a world. And I feel like they are beings. They are not just sculptures. So I need them around me, but I also need space to create. So yeah.
Right
so
now you're in the studio?
I mean, I love it here. It's a great place.
Where is it?
These great windows, and it's industrial. It's close to Zonenala.
Okay.
But I need to leave because I need to find a bigger place. So it's so hard in Berlin.
Mm-hmm.
If you want me to make you a tour in my studio.
Yeah, I would love that. Yeah, of course. Let's take a tour.
That's my working space. What I wear. If I can see anything. So that's my working space. That's 2 masks I make for Tobias.
Uh-huh.
That's 2 sculptures that were in the exhibition. I don't know if it's hard now because the light go from the other side.
Yeah, it's a bit dark, but
I don't know if you can see.
Yeah, now I can see better. Cool, spooky.
Yeah, that's where I draw. Which you can see me also in the mirror.
Kind of a behind the scenes in a theater.
Yeah, I work a lot with theater and performance. Yeah, and also for my own performances. So everything is very like to do with the body, right?
Yeah.
The human body, animal body, machine body. I don't know. Kind of different.
What is your background? I mean,
we're going to. What?
What is your background? Where did you study? If you studied, did you come with a theatrical background, or?
I study in I study in visual theater in Jerusalem.
Okay. Okay.
But I study also before dance and physical theater, and I was always drawing. So it's a combination. I mean, my history is since I remember myself, I was always drawing. So I was always Like art was always there, drawing, and when I was very young, I left and I was kind of nomad for 8 years.
Okay.
And within these 8 years, I've been in different places. I was living all kind of life you can imagine that are not um, kind of normal, you can say.
Oh, how old were you?
It was from the age of 17 until, yeah, for 8 years. So I was living under cash machines in caves, in weird communities, in the mountains, in the desert, in the north, in Brazil, in Europe, in India, and I was really like all the time moving. Punk communities, hippie communities, every kind of way that is not, yeah,
Conventional.
that is different. That is different, yeah,
Yeah.
because I guess, yeah, I was searching for, um, yeah, to understand what the fuck is going on here. You know,
I still do.
it felt so bad. You know, it felt so wrong. I had to find the way. I had to find, okay, what.
Yeah, all the time you felt like you're running from something, or you're like you.
No, not at all. I was discovering. I was in I was like, I have like books like that of drawings of understanding, trying to understand. You know, like a researcher.
Mm-hmm.
But also healing myself in the same time and finding my own powers. And nature helped me a lot. But also people that are also outsiders helped me a lot to connect to humans again and to see that not, yeah, all people are in the system, like
Mm-hmm.
in this, and also it was a
Conservative,
beautiful,
like yeah.
yeah, it was a beautiful time to see, because in these places that are really, you can really be aware. And I was very young, that the society is sick and we're here to heal ourselves and to think in a new way how to live life. And that was amazing for me. So that was a much better from any university I can go to.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was also doing street performances. I was living like we were recycling food and living, like, and then I started to do street performances. And then I found out that, wow, I want to not just to draw, I want to be in front of people, but that my body will change, because I was always fascinated by creating new beings. Also, when I was a child, I had a small room and it was full of drawings of creatures. And so I was, since a very young age, I think I was really fascinated by creating new beings. I don't know. Maybe I come from a different world. I have no idea. Yeah, so in my drawings, and also through creating new forms of human bodies, I kind of relate to humans and to myself being yeah. And when I started to work, I was performing in the street, and I found out that I have so much power there, and that it's much more powerful for me to be the person that receive what I have to give, like my artistic. So I thought about the visual theater, because it's a very special school that you can combine different things. So I study visual arts, history of performance art, puppetry, because then I could really animate part of my body in my performances. And so I started to develop this combination between what I have in my mind, that started from drawings, different beings, and then to put it in materials, and then to put it on myself and being this thing that can tell a story, or can also, when you are performing, it's almost like, for me, I create a sculpture, but the sculpture of life and have a history that you feel it from the body itself. Like you feel it's beyond understanding here. When you are in front of audience, in front of people, they feel you. So for me, it's much stronger. And you go through something also.
Yeah. So what is exactly that the performances you made? I mean, does it also have text? Does it have a structure?
The performance that I did now,
yeah.
I was creating a fictional tribe. It was in Chemnitz, as I told you. So the topic was very much to do, I mean, I think they called me before. I'm already dealing with topics like that. So the performance in Chemnitz was actually, I went from each sculpture and I told the story, and I was wearing, oh, it's connected. You see this kind of very heavy military, but looking wounded. This is a military jacket, and all these sculptures that you see here, it's all part of the tribe.
Okay.
And I'm talking about kind of, you don't understand if it's like I'm talking about as my ancestors' tribe, but I also have their topics that are related to, in general, to what's going on in Germany now, doing with racism. Like it's like a mix of what's going on in Israel, Palestine, the military world, the men's military world. And so I become this my grandfather, which is the masked bear with a long nose, and so it's kind of stories that are very weird, but I tell them almost like I go through a museum that talks about the future and the past.
And you also talk. Like, you also say things. It's
yeah. I tell the stories, and then I become this person.
And what are these stories? The stories are the stories of this person you create. The history, the biography.
No. I'm the artist. I'm coming there with this costume, but I'm like guiding them inside the world that I created. And then I become part of the object. I become a grandfather that have this, and I make things with the costume, and I kind of work with the costume. So I become also in the end, and also in the middle, I put on some stuff. So I really make, enter my worlds. Oh, yeah.
And how did they react in Chemnitz to this performance?
They were really shocked and really interested. It was amazing. So many people came. I was shocked because I thought because of the corona, no one will come.
Where was it?
It was in. I'm so bad with names.
No, it was kind of a gallery or a.
Yeah. The name is
Never mind, it's okay.
So bad with names. I hated it. I mean, one thing, I'm very highly dyslexic. So many times I have problem with names.
No problem.
Alfred? Yes, Alfred Gallery. No, Alfred. Oh my God. Yeah, the paper went down to the floor. Oscar Gallery. And it was part of the Jewish, it was a Jewish festival that they make every year. And every year they choose one artist to make a solo exhibition. So they chose me this year.
Okay.
But now, because of the corona, the festival got canceled. So it was only my exhibition. It was not connected to anything.
Okay, and can you tell a little bit about the project you offered to Framed?
Yeah. So the project I offered to Frame, it's called Anastatica. And the meaning of the name is actually in Hebrew, it's Shoshanat Yericho. And it's the meaning of it's two.
But
there
what
is a plant in English. Anastatica in English, Shoshanat Yericho. Yeah.
Okay.
And the meaning of it is that there is a plant that grows a lot in the Sahara Desert, but also close to the Dead Sea. And when I was in Israel the last time, and I had this idea of anastatica, I went to visit a friend in Mitzpe Ramon, in a place in the desert, and we saw this plant, and he told me the story, and I was really excited because it was really connected to what I'm trying to say with my art. And the interesting thing about this plant is that it cut part of his, like a limp part of his body, and this part is wandering the desert. It can be for 100 years more until a drop of water drop on it, and then the plant can have life again and make roots.
Really? So just part of the plant somehow wander for years in the desert until it gets some water, and then it becomes a plant?
Yeah, and then it slowly becomes a plant, and then that's how the plant, grow and spread itself.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing is that there is a disease called Shoshanat Yericho. I don't know if you know it, but it's a very known disease in the desert, for the desert people. And the Bedouin people, funny enough, the disease caused by a fly that's called sand fly, Zvuv Achol. And when it bites you, for the only one time, then you are, how you call it? You can't get the disease again. Mm-hmm. You are immune. You're immune to it.
Yeah.
And so the Bedouin women, they tuck their babies, and they leave only the bottom without material. You know, they put material all over when they go to sleep, but they leave the bottom
because
free,
they
so they
bite it in order for him to be. But what
can
happens
them
when you get it, like in an older age?
It doesn't matter. You can get it also in the older, but if you get it as a child and it's in the ass, then it doesn't, because the thing about this bite is that it becomes like a rose on the skin, and it stays a sting, like a red sting, all your life.
Ah, really?
So the Bedouin people don't want them to have on the face, on the, the ass, okay, and then you're free of it, So that's the story of the name of anastatica. And now I will explain how the name connected to what I'm trying to do. So I think all through everything, if you look at the history of my art, you will see in all of the works, the topics, and I think all of my life, I will deal with this topic. It's like I have few topics that are always there since I remember myself, but then grow different
branches
themes that I touch to do with politics, do what's going on, but it's always, there's few topics that I always, I'm always really passionate to work from. And one of them is how from a being which went through a trauma or otherness or disability or everything that is not perfect, you can have an open place for change. Like it's like almost like the wounded place is a way for a new growth of a new kind of body, a new kind of way, a new kind of, so in this case, I like the part that it cuts part of his body, and that's how he can grow, and that's how he can challenge himself and wonder, and also from this topic, I would like to challenge in the performance the binary representation of the body. So because everything to do with, it's in a way also connected to the cyborg manifestation, everything to do with man, woman, plant, like animal, human, or machine, and yeah, machine and artificial and nature, you know, all these things that we are so used to categorize and put them in certain, how we can, like, you know, look at things in a different way. That's why I love to create hybrids, and that's why I love to work with silicon, because silicon is kind of, I can make stuff, as you said, ooh, it's very, but I'm not trying to scare anyone. I'm just trying to show also how we are far away from our bodies. Like, you know, how we are, so I remember myself when I went back to live in a city life, you know, and I noticed how people are being so disgusted by their own body. You know, if I cut myself, I'm like disgusted. But this is, you know, it's like we are so so all these places also are very interesting for me. The how we create for ourselves this sterile, and now with the corona, it's really crazy, this sterile reality, and we are so afraid of everything that is not perfect. And we, you know, when you think about the future, so all these things are very fascinating for me.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I feel like I was.
No, no. I'm with you.
Yeah, I was talking about the silicon. I will go back to the silicon. I like it that I found, you see, like this, I find it so exciting that you can make something that look very artificial
Mhm.
and I don't know, almost futuristic. I don't know. But in the same time, you can make stuff that are really organic and that are really, and I love this
What is that?
combination. This is a wait, this is a sculpture that I made from a plastic bag. It was in different museum actually already. Oh, yeah, it's my. I used to do. You see it?
A little bit because it's, you know, it's dark a little bit, but
So actually,
maybe from the other side.
you see it now?
No, even worse because
Oh.
the light comes from the foreground.
Actually, it's all this. All this is wigs that I used to, because I used to, when I just arrived to Berlin, I used to make this performance called Inside Skin, which Anastatica will be the next. For me, it's very much connected to
Mm-hmm.
Anastatica. And in Inside Skin, I wanted to. I had a body that is very similar to that, what you see here.
Mm-hmm.
And every time I used a new wig, because I wanted the wig to look very shining and artificial. So that's all the wigs that I used. Oh, this, yeah.
Where is the hair from? Is it a natural hair? Where do you?
No, it's wigs.
No, you create the wigs, right?
No. Every performance, I bought a new wig, but it's the same color of my hair. I don't know if you saw Inside Skin, but in Inside Skin, the body was really, you couldn't understand where is the front, where is the, like I really worked with the theme of how a woman body perceived, like with no, you know, no front, no direction, like a mess and emotional. So it was a body that first you don't even understand what is its direction.
Mm-hmm.
So every performance, I bought two new wigs, and I like the combination with this. Yeah, it was
Oh, okay. So just
talking about.
you buy artificial wigs and you just work
Yeah,
with
but
it.
now it looks very. I mean, now when people come to my studio, I always say that it's my hair because you know. Oh, really? Now you can see it, maybe, no?
Yeah, yeah. Now it's
Yeah.
better.
And then here, there is in the end, there is a plastic bag that I made like, you see that?
Yeah, it looks a little bit like a, I don't know, a piece of prosciutto
Like
di Parma.
Like a what?
You know, this leg of a pig, prosciutto di Parma, that they sell in this kind of, the heat.
And it's made out of plastic bag. That's crazy. Like all this thing is plastic bag. Yeah, I like this.
So this Anastatica?
Mm-hmm.
Anastatica, that's supposed to be a performance or a video or a short movie?
No, I mean, my vision is to make this exhibition again in Berlin, the one I made in Chemnitz, and to make a performance in the exhibition. So Anastatica is a performance. Okay. I'm going to work with Lily Rovière. She is a choreographer, so she's going to be the outside eye. And I don't know if you can see that. Yeah. All these parts here. I think here you can see a beginning of a costume that I'm going to, or at least what kind of, you know, kind of.
Yeah.
But also, I mean,
that's part of the costume of Anastatica. That's something you plan to work with.
Yeah, yeah.
And do you have like a specific, more like I don't know, a time frame for the coming month, for the coming weeks? What do you want to achieve?
Yeah, I want to use this platform to create the costume. I don't know if, I mean, you know, when I created Anastatica, when I was really, I want to have, to work with animatronics person. You know, I want part of it to be animated like a cyborg, you know, like a, so I don't know if now I can, because I still didn't get, I don't have enough budget. So now I can work with the choreographer, because also I have 2 festivals. One festival in Amsterdam called Frame, and one festival in Sweden called Queer Festival. And the 2 of them are really amazing festivals. Okay. So I will show it there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds super interesting.
Thanks.
Look forward to see what's developing in the next coming weeks.
Yeah, I will show you It's really good, because then I have.
Yeah, you have deadlines.
So everything. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So see you next week the same time?
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for the talk.
Thank you.
See you.
Bye.
Ciao.